Alright, friends, I worked all day today, and I have to get up early in the morning so I can work all day again tomorrow. And by all day, I mean, early in the morning too. It is now 10:49 p.m. at night, and I finished not an hour ago. So that's what awaits me, but it's fine. It's good. So I'm also in a rather semi-surreal, heightened emotional state because intense things, both good and bad, in varying degrees, are very present in my life right now, and making sense of it is difficult. So all I know is that right now I would like to watch some Pokemon battles with you. And I don't know the results of these games. They are from the Smogon Premier League, the third week, which is, going strong, going very intense. Everyone really involved, giving it their all. We're seeing some great Pokemon, all that wonderful stuff, all that jazz. And I grabbed the replay links off of the Smog Tours Discord server, which does not give away the result. So I don't know what happens. So, Zapdos lead into a Metagross lead in this Triangles versus Conflict matchup. I'm going to try and keep the analysis on the low side because time crunch is a factor. I'm sure I won't be able to help myself. But yeah, Triangles knows the ins and outs of Advance, and Conflict is no stranger to Advance, but he's been taken out of his more natural habitat of GSC, whereas he knows the ins and outs of that tier. But in Advance, while he knows the tier well, he might not have that same level of detail to his building and play. So we'll see if he tries to compensate for that some way, whether with a team building choice or an in-battle choice. So we see a strong Metagross to start off the game, because if you lead off with a Metagross and use Rock Slide on the first turn, you are coming out swinging, you are hitting hard, and it's likelier that it's going to be Choice Band. So Protect Zapdos is a great Pokemon. You usually don't see it, though. Definitely not in the lead slot. And clicking it on the first turn makes sense. You don't want to switch out of the... You don't want to give a free switch to if Metagross tries to escape, but the odds are, since Metagross is leading, it doesn't want to switch out of Zapdos on the first turn most of the time either. So when you lead off with Metagross, you better have a plan for sticking it out against Zapdos in some form. Usually, anyway. So Protect is a very reasonable move there, and Rock Slide, likely Choice Band. You can still go for it again. It's reasonable there. But Conflict does not do that, and he goes to Blissey rather than risk a potential Magneton, which unlikely but very possible. And Triangles goes to Ana Descarma, so of course I'm rooting for him because he's got my wife there. So Spike likely? No. Is he afraid of? Well, T-Bolt is shown, but Scarm shrugs off T-Bolt. So I don't know if he was afraid of Magneton there. Like if it's a CB Gross lead, CB Gross makes Magneton much less likely, which is why I was surprised to see that level of careful play to avoid it. And now we've got a Blissey 1v1, so we're going to go fast a little bit. Oh, there's the Calm Mind. Yeah, T-Bolt Blissey does not necessarily signify Calm Mind, but it is very common since it lets it beat Suicune. Although non-Calm Mind Blissey running T-Bolt is very underrated because it gives you really cool advantages against things like Recover Starmie. So there's another one of Triangles' patented fart nicknames, just what you need after a long day. And Clayboy Farty is not really a traditional Calm Mind Blissey answer because it gets decked by Boosted Ice Beam, and EQ doesn't do a lot, and the only way you're taking Blissey down is by going down with Explosion, and against a healthy team, Claydol Explosion is not the scariest thing in the world. So this is very much in the favor of Conflict. The one saving grace is that Triangles knows Conflict isn't going to risk that Blissey, almost surely, so he can kind of get around it. But the fact of the matter is, this is not a confident Calm Mind Bliss answer, and seeing as Triangles looks to be running a very bulky, slow-paced team, that's going to give that Calm Mind Blissey a lot of answers. In the long run, this is going to be very threatening. So Conflict's got some, huge tools for being scary, with likely CB Gross and then a Calm Mind Blissey, which both look very well positioned here. So... but on the other hand, Conflict is also smart. He's like, well, Triangle, you can't go forever in that I know he knows I know kind of way, but it does kind of even out because Triangles is never, ever, ever going to click Boom there immediately because that's just such a foolish move. So with that in mind, then it is very reasonable for Conflict to stay in and go for an Ice Beam. I mean, if you got blown up there, it's the kind of move where if you look back at it, as Conflict's teammate, and you say you would, want to rip him apart. Like, dude, how could you make that move? It was so unnecessary. And yeah, but on the other hand, this I think is reasonable enough to where it would just be so insane for Triangles to blow up that, you can kind of forgive it. Anyway, the reward is pretty big, as he does get a nice Ice Beam on that Claydol. And now he goes to Milotic, which can almost surely live an unboosted Boom from Claydol, which makes it a very safe switch, especially because it's faster, because it's a very bulky Claydol, not one of the faster ones, which are very common. And so this makes Milotic a perfect switch, because you get boomed on, okay, you take a lot of damage, but, I mean, I guess it could still have offensive investment. Well, that EQ did a pretty healthy chunk, so I'll reserve, complete judgment. But if the boom doesn't KO and Conflict calc to the EQ against Blissey, and he knows that boom doesn't KO Milotic, then it's a perfect switch. So now knowing that Claydol is scared out, and Conflict doubles back to Blissey, putting that threat on the field as, immediately, again, nicely done. He is going to contend with a spike now as T-Bolt does nice damage, and I don't know if he was trying to Calm Mind on... I don't know, Calm Mind doesn't really change the Claydol. I guess it does, because it can take an unboosted Ice Beam. But yeah, T-Bolt, I think there was, fairly safe, because switching to Claydol there is so risky. And Triangle just goes for Roar, because, if Claydol is his answer, he cannot risk it at this point, or he might just very well lose if his last is also, I don't know, Suicune or Milotic and, non-Destiny Bond or Boom Gengar or something. So, in comes T-Tar, and funnily enough, that is actually going to make Blissey easier to deal with for Triangles, because it does not heal passively with leftovers. So, now it will be able to take... Now Claydol's EQ will sting it for more meaningful damage, for example. Or, if Zapdos Toxic it or something. So, Skarm protects on the lefties less T-Tar, trying to see, is that going to be like CB Focus Punch or something? Or also to reveal information, like, hey, is this going to be mixed or more physical? And because it could also be DD, judging from that Rock Slide damage, definitely not banded. So it's looking like a DD T-Tar. And since he saw Rock Slide, he's going to say, okay, I can afford to stay in and not risk a Fire Blast, because Rock Slide, Fire Blast, definitely not unheard of, quite common, but it is on the rare side. Although Rock Slide, Fire Blast, HP Grass, Brick Break, or Focus Punch is a great set, but you don't see it as much. But now, he's not doing so well, so he's going to make the reasonable stay in, and he's going to Hidden Power, I guess that's Steel. I don't think that's fighting. And I guess it could be... No, it's not ground, because that's a bulky Skarm. It's a specially defensive Skarm. Non-stab HP ground is not doing that much to T-Tar. That is definitely HP Steel, which suggests to me, hey, I'm scared of DD Tar number 1 and Aerodactyl number 2. And you also want to hit Gengar, so that's nice. And yes, Skarmory does learn Steel Wing, and I personally might go that route myself, but HP Steel is also fine. So he's going to go for a Protect. Is he going to... Yeah, that was it was a repeat of that earlier move, or a mirror of that earlier move, rather. It's more accurate, where Conflict Calm-Minded on the Whirlwind, so now he knows he's not going to... And there's the Suicune. Triangles knows he's not going to try and, DD and get Whirlwinded out with that Spike again. That would be foolish. I'm wondering if Conflict has a Claydol on his side. I mean, it would make a lot of sense with, this very Spike-vulnerable team. There's a very nice Roar from Triangles as Bold Suicune, which took absolute pittance from Rock Slide, getting Spike's damage on Milo and dragging T-Tar back in. So now it's, losing even more health, not getting it back unless there's a surprise wish somewhere. Or I guess it's Chesto Rest T-Tar, which I hope it's not. And, just trying to reveal that last. And here comes Salamence on a forced, or not a forced, but a very likely Surf. Because, hey, the T-Tar's at low health, I may as well stand and try and slug it out and weaken the Suicune. But yeah, nicely pivoted to by Conflict, and he's got a Mixments there. Either DD or Mixed is fine. He knows the Suicune is not going to... It's bold with Roar, it's not going to have Ice Beam, so he can... deal with it there nicely. Another Roar to T-Tar. That's very advantageous for Conflict. And Milotic coming back in. Another, provoked Surf. Now, Suicune is showing its strength, but it's also showing its limitations in that it's going to be forced to rest soon. But not cool. I was going to say, is it going to Roar on the what's it called? The Recover and, try to get some more T-Tar dragging in? Or, revealing the last, but he decides to get the jump on it. and to burn sleep quicker. I guess that Blissey could also have Heal Bell. But he's going to try and get the jump on this Milotic recovering, because now when Milo switches, then Triangles will already have burned a turn of sleep, and that's really good because the less free turns you're giving with a resting Pokemon, the better. And yeah, this is also a valuable weapon for Triangles because it'll beat Blissey in a Calm Mind War for sure. You just don't want to switch it in, you know, after the fact. So actually, there is the Claydol from Conflict. Nice team. And now I'm wondering, is that really going to be Banded Metagross? Because then if it blows up early and his only rock resist is Claydol, then he's going to get trucked by DD Tar and Arrow. So now I'm starting to think it's going to be, you know, like 4 attacks or something. Anyway, so Triangles does not burn a rest turn, maybe because it is Heal Bell Bliss, and he jumps to his own Blissey to try and catch whatever Conflict would try to answer the Suicune with, maybe going to the Mixments or something, which, you know, that's reasonable. So now he's not going to risk a boom or, you know, just give up a free spin just to get the Heal Bell off, because Spikes is a big source of pressure for him. It's one of the, because his team is not doing direct damage. He has to, you know, chip away passively. So he's going to get the Spike up immediately, and if Claydol booms, then, I mean, that's a Pokemon down, and he'll still live, and he'll get a Spike later on. A Spike that he'll know will be permanent. So Metagross switching into Scarm is generally not a great sign, but it's also making me think, okay, that's definitely going to be banded. Yeah, that is banded with a big, big, nasty crit mash. And Raise, but, well, the Raise doesn't matter because it roars. But, yeah, that's a big, big crit. Scarm barely hanging on. Poor Anna Discarmus. And a quite a bulky Zapdos switching in. So with Protect, I guess it could be, yeah, T-Bolt, Toxic, Rest, Protect is a great set. You know, when you see Protect Zapdos, you generally think offensive. But, no, it's going to be a bulkier one. So, Toxic's traded. Conflict's, well, Triangles was expecting Claydol or Blissey there, so nice move by Conflict to try and force a rest from the Zapdos to make it easier to take advantage of. Hey, it's a nice move, although if it is in fact Heal Bell Blissey, it's not going to go as far. But still a good idea, and Conflict's Milotic is almost surely going to be a refresh, so. Now there's the Bliss, and yeah. So nice move by Conflict going to Blissey there, because he has to answer Zapdos, and if Triangles tries to get that Heal Bell off, then he will have given Conflict's Blissey a free Calm Mind. And, oh, okay, Aromatherapy, not Heal Bell, whatever. Oh, he doesn't go for the free Calm Mind and try to put pressure on afterwards. He's going to go to his own Claydol, and Psychic trying to catch a Gengar, but, yeah, Triangle just takes the free damage and Ice Beams him nicely. So, there's a spin, and Triangles makes a nice move going to his own Claydol there, as opposed to Skarmory. Well, he can't go to Skarmory because it's weakened. But he'd rather get his own Claydol blown up, given... Well, would he, though? Because, again, the Calm Mind Bliss situation is... It's kind of tough. But, yeah, I mean, if Conflict doesn't want to blow up his own Claydol, then he's just going to give Triangles' Claydol more lefties, and that's obviously great. Oh, he's got Shadow Ball, so he actually threatens Conflict's Claydol, so that changes the matchup quite a bit. And, yeah, the Mysterious Last, it's not going to be something, you know, like a big aggressive hitter, I don't think. So, yeah. The Calm Mind Bliss on Conflict's team feels so out of place. I guess it's so that you have a Blissey set on an otherwise, like, offensive team. Like, Metagross is scary, DD Tar, Mixments, okay, Boom Claydol, Milotic is kind of a form of offense. And you don't want Blissey to be too passive, but, I don't know, I think if you had, Sing Blissey, for example... Like, Sing Blissey and CB Metagross is a nasty combination, giving you free turns to CB mash things. Yeah, I mean, if it's CB Gross, so I guess maybe he's got a CB Gross that he just doesn't plan on blowing up very much. It's not like it's a very offensive team that needs to blow up Skarm immediately, so he's going to take the longer game, which, you know, because if you can deal with Skarmory in the long term decently, then you don't need to auto blow up. That's why CB Gross that auto blows up is usually on more offensive teams that can't afford to give Skarm those turns. So, Blissey Zapdos interactions. T-Bolt, Toxic, Ice Beam, so yeah, he's going to be provoked into resting if he does have it very soon. If not, he's hanging by an edge, whereas Blissey is, yeah, Blissey's at 34, but Blissey also takes such little damage from everything that it can afford to be at such low health. There's the EQ looking for, I don't know, Metagross? Yeah, I guess Metagross. Yeah, actually, CB Gross coming in on the Shadow Ball would be devastating here. That claims a free KO. Okay, no, it doesn't claim a free KO. I take it back. But Suicune switching in is not really great because Suicune doesn't heal. First of all, it's going to be forced to rest, and it is taken advantage of by lots. So, EQ, Psychic, Milo coming in. There's the Shadow Ball. Claydol is going to be threatened out. I guess if it's especially defensive, Claydol it could theoretically take that Surf from there, but I don't know. Then the... Well, no, from 87, the Boom's going to KO, especially with Sand. So there's a Toxic on Blissey, and a nice double switch there to Triangles. Rather than give Conflict's Blissey the free switch, now he's got the Suicune against the Blissey in a one-on-one. Blissey's at low health, so now he has the advantage with Calm Mind. So he's going to win this one-on-one. That's not the question. Or that's not the problem. The problem is that it's still not going to break Milo, and it's going to be forced to rest. I mean, it's going to get some nice surfs there before it is forced to rest. Oh, that Toxic Miss is nasty. That complicates things. He gets a free turn now, so he can start... No, he's going to go up to +4 just to hit as hard as possible. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. That surf was not... No, no. That was... That was a bad move. He can't do that. Because, like, who cares if Skarmory switches into the Toxic? No, like, the Suicune is the immediate threat present. You can't... No, that was... Maybe he thought he hit and just missed it or something. No, his timer went down to 210. Now, even at +4, the surf isn't really the threat, so... That was not a super costly mistake, so I guess I can be more lenient on that. And yeah, now the Skarm gets a free switch. Triangle is making a beautiful Skarm switch there, and with Protect he's going to get 12.5 back on the Skarm before being chased out again. Very nicely done. But I don't know, I think that Surf was, trying... he's not going to... He's trying to force something, I guess the problem is that once Suicune gets forced to rest, Conflict doesn't really have a good way of scaring it out, because he doesn't have a phaser... And Metagross has to... I mean, CB Gross EQ does threaten it pretty nicely in Sand, I suppose. But it's still not easy. DD Tar could DD. It'd have to sacrifice itself, though. But, yeah, so I think you'd have to do the gross route. And, you like, once... If it stays in on EQ, then it gets nasty. You don't want to blow up immediately, because Triangle still has 6 Pokemon. And then, if you get the... It's kind of the reverse of Triangles' Claydol versus Calm Mind Blissey scenario, where if you get that Claydol booming on something else, then you're probably toast. It's kind of a trend after that whole Buy-High game I covered on the channel not long ago. And, yeah, if you blow up that Metagross on another Calm Minder, on Suicune, on something that isn't the Calm Mind Suicune, then you are also in a lot of trouble. I mean, he's got the Calm Mind Blissey, so it's not quite the same thing, but it's going to be a lot tougher. He's going to have to, like, whittle it down with Salamence, and get a DD sweep with Tar going, which, I mean, if the Suicune is resting, then, and you get it, I mean, now that it's Toxic, then definitely. But that was, we were just talking about the situation where Suicune is forced to rest. So, yeah, Triangle's got made a beautiful double switch from Milotic to Metagross against the Skarmory that was obviously switching out to Blissey to take on the Milo, and now he's got a free mashing Metagross against a Suicune, which is going to be forced to rest, switching in with Sand and with Toxic. Or he's not going to be forced to rest. I mean, the obvious, tempting button is to just mash and wait for that attack boost, but Conflict is now going to go on the offensive with his Calm Mind Blissey. And Triangles has that Claydol response again, and no, here comes Salamence and EQ. So, nice restraint from Triangles. And as he does show restraint, then he also is gaining more health, so he can potentially take another Ice Beam, another boosted Ice Beam from the Blissey. So that helps a lot. And Conflict recognizes, look, this Claydol cannot be risked, so he Brick Breaks the Blissey on the switch. Doesn't quite get the 2-hit KO. That's a very, very bulky Blissey. Nicely EV'd there. I think it's probably bold, so that it can take on Dugtrio, so that it can withstand all sorts of things better. And with Spike support, it can handle Dugtrio, so it doesn't need, max special attack. But yeah, Blissey's going to Soft Boil, and now in comes Metagross mashing again. Nope, no EQ on the switch, but it does get a mash boost on the switch. This could get ugly. The Suicune is faster, though. That's big. But it's also going to get 2 KO'd from that rate, so 3 KO'd total. Oh, it's a speed tie. Oh, I guess he could have roared. Yeah. How many sleep turns did he have? He had No, that was the first sleep turn. Yeah, okay. So he could have roared and it didn't really make much of a difference. I guess theoretically it could still be a speed tie, but yeah, that mash crit did not matter. It was the boost. And he gets a second boost. Oh dear, 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 dear. Do you go down mashing? Do you trust yourself to hit another? I mean, you have 2 chances probably. Oh, he's going to play it safe. That's a smart call. It was very tempting, but yeah, I mean, a +2 CB Gross, that's just stratospherically strong. But now he's just going to spam Ice Beam into the Claydol. He can't even switch into it. I mean, he could Blissey and attempt to Calm Mind, but he's going to go right to it. And in comes Salamence. Is he going to blow up? Nope, he's going to still restrain, so he's still alive against it. But now what's going to happen? Is he going to Brick Break the switch? No, he's going to HP Grass just to show him that he does have it. Which is good. Now you don't have to worry about a mind game later. Oh, well, you know, I'm going to stay in and survive Dragon Claw because I don't think he has HP Grass. You know. So that was a very ambitious Fire Blast, trying to catch Skarmory on the switch, trying to get like more of a double to, I don't know, what were you trying to catch there? Because Metagross is fairly riskless as a switch there, I think. Because does Fire Blast really, is that the move that covers Zapdos? Wouldn't you Dragon Claw in that situation? I guess Fire Blast covers Zapdos and Skarmory, but I mean even Skarmory's at 20. Yeah, surely Dragon Claw, I don't know. But yeah, now Blissey's in Brick Break range at least. So there's another Seismic Toss, and now here's another Meteor Mash, and this is almost surely going to claim another victim. Down, and a very accurate mash as well. Down it goes, and okay, there's the Dugtrio Revenge Kill. As now, but previously he didn't do that because full health CB Gross is going to be bulky enough to withstand Dugtrio, obviously. But after the Seismic Toss, then he could finally Revenge Kill it. But now here is a Salamence with a free switch. And great move by Triangles, because the Brick Break was so obvious there that you can't just throw Blissey in and get 2-hit KO'd. So great move by Triangles. It makes you think, dude, was Dragon Claw it there if he's not throwing away the Blissey? But he chooses to sacrifice the Claydol, and now it looks like, I don't know, was that the move? Maybe he was trying to blow up the Salamence on a Brick Break over prediction. But you know, if you lose Claydol, then you lose to Blissey anyway, don't you? Well, there's a desperation Dugtrio to try and catch Blissey switching in, but Conflict is very aware of that, and he makes a beautiful switch to Milo, and now is a very free Toxic on the Blissey. And now I think he just well, Aromatherapy, I guess. But yeah, he spams Surf, and Skarm and Doug both go down. And yeah, so now he's going to T-Tar on the Bliss. I guess he doesn't... Yeah, Doug could survive a full health Blissey Ice Beam, depending on his bulk. I don't think it's that bulky on this team. I think this team needs the speed and attack more. She just goes right for the Rock Slide, not risking anything. Okay, down goes Dugtrio. And now, okay, but it still seems over, though. Because, yeah, he's got the Boom with Claydol. Salamence picks up a KO here, because he just spams Brick Break. And Triangle says GG, so that's probably it. Yeah, this game lasted longer than I expected. So I'm probably only going to do one more after this. I don't know what, probably DPP or something. Yeah, so now he tries to freeze my... yeah, there's the Toxic. I mean, he can still freeze a bunch, but then the Blissey's going to win, and the Boom Claydol. Soft Boil, he just gets it over with. Yeah, nicely done. So that was a nice game. Well done to both. And let's see what kind of... Let's get a DPP game going here, because I love DPP. This will be Dredri 457 versus Skyrio. Hippo, oh boy. Latias, alright, I hope this is a modest Specs Latias lead, my baby, and not a defensive one. Okay, it's defensive. Hippo's not going to get scared out by that. I guess, no, you don't know, the Hippo doesn't know that it's going to be a... So it could switch out in Fear, and you get the T-Wave off. Oh, man, this is going to be a long one. All right, I don't know if we're going to do this. Just for the time reasons. Don't get me wrong. I genuinely do enjoy games like this. I love analyzing super long games. I think it's super interesting how... I think I put my money where my mouth is on this topic enough on this channel, so I don't need to justify it too much. But, you know, with the time constraints, then, yeah... That was a great example of Roar being useful even without spikes. So I guess I'll just give some Spark Notes here. Roar being useful without spikes is something really underrated because, I touched on this in my video called why underrated applications of phasing moves, I believe is the title. But for example, something that used to be really popular was defensive Roar Swampert, and it was famous for being bad against Stall. But with Roar, then you could make it really good against Stall. Well, not really good, but you would, like, Scarf T-Tar would run from it, right? And you would Roar, And yeah, Roar isn't going to hack apart an entire stall team just with Stealth Rock alone. But if you roar in that Scarf T-Tar a couple times, suddenly Scarf T-Tar is much less capable of switching into Heatran or something. And so you are able to break down a defensive team, you know, not just by sending in a big wall breaker and clicking all the big fancy or the big satisfying buttons of Oko machines, but you know, you create opportunities that way. You know, you give yourself room to play. So that Hippo EQ, you know, it doesn't look like Dredri. I mean, Dredri might have spikes, might not have spikes. Leaning towards not right now. There's a nice pursuit from the T-Tar as it's lost its Scarf even, so that makes it even more flexible at dealing with Clef. But yeah, that kind of roar is really, really useful. In fact, I was kind of hoping to see another one of those roars here. I guess he can still do it. It's not like he's really threatened by much. But yeah, that if you roar in T-Tar over and over, then that's really big. Especially because, you know, in the Pert in that previous situation, or the Hippo now, since it's not threatened directly. I mean, as long as you have a plan for Scarm spiking, which, you know, the team should, then you will... I mean, even in the Swampert situation, oh, nice heal bell, then, you know, you could withstand, since the Swampert wasn't going to be that useful, you wouldn't mind getting a burn, sustaining a burn from a Restock Rotom, for example, because you were just planning on trying to drag in the T-Tar and open up opportunities for whatever it was. So, yeah, this is a really, really long one, and the Latias just went down to T-Wave the Jirachi, which is going to get heal belled, so I don't know about this one. Non-Scarf T-Tar putting in a pretty nice amount of work. Not trying to, oh, beautiful, dodging the, that was a beautiful sequence from Skyrio, you know, dodging the knockoff, dodging the Seismic Toss on the incoming Scarf Tar, and then going to, on the incoming T-Tar, and then dodging the knockoff on Clef by switching into T-Tar on knockoff, and then pursuing on the switch, oh no, it stayed in, never mind. Well, it was a beautiful sequence anyway, I really appreciated the idea. So now it's up to Gliscor to like solo everything. I don't know if it's going to be feasible if Latias is around. He doesn't knock it on the switch. Oh, it's HP Fire. Okay, looking for that Zong there. And if it's not Ice Beam, then... I mean, Dragon Pulse still does a pretty hefty chunk, but it's Ice Fang, so it's not quite enough. I mean, Gliscor... I've seen Gliscors win through worse odds, but... Yeah, this is... Oh, I think this is a team that August used. I mean, a lot of people have used this kind of thing, but yeah, I think it's Calm Mind HP Fire, which means it's going to win this one-on-one. You gotta threaten that Toxic on it, threaten that Encore from Clef. Gliscor, this is not something Gliscor wants to deal with one-on-one. Is he gonna? That was a prime turn to HP Fire, I think, because Clef switching into +1 Dragon Pulse. I mean, it'd be fine. It's still a bulky Latias, but from 81, it's more hesitant. So, beautiful double there, really nice. Oh, that was a really nice move from Skyrio to keep himself in the game. Oh, and there's another Gliscor. Yeah, it is that team. So, and Skyrio's Gliscor got lefties first, so Ice Fang there. And now he's trying to... Oh, what was that? What was that roost, man? I don't know about that. He's paralyzed. I don't know if he... And now Clef soft boiled. Yeah, and there's the forfeit. So, yeah, all right. We have... Yeah, I mean, that was a really interesting game. I wish I could have given it more attention, but... Yeah, is there another DPP game that we can do? Ooh, okay, it's not DPP, but it is a very interesting matchup of Solwind versus Jisu. Solwind obviously being the face of Gen 5 OU, and Jisu being a very interesting presence in the tier because they are completely unafraid to run wild, wild stuff. They're a very capable player as well. Oh, wait, that was the... I copy pasted. Wait. Okay, I'm closing my eyes. I did not see that the result of that. I do not know what happened. Okay. Oh boy, another. What is it? The Gen 5 player base is really trying to bring Stall back, huh? I mean, look, if it works, who am I to say any otherwise? But yeah, we've got Clef. I still got to make that video about Clef in Gen 5. I wanted to get Peng on for it. And then my Discord was not cooperating. Anyway. Communist Shinji. I wonder if that fits with the Evangelion lore. Oh, Shed Shell Scarm against Magnezone. Alright, well. Yeah. That's, Oh, wait, what happened there? Okay, I guess Jasu thought Seismitoad was Sullivan was going to switch, but he just Giga Drained and caught Seismitoad. That so now this game is extremely, extremely over, barring some unholy acts of Arceus. In comes T-Tar pursuing. Well, it's not banded, so the Slowbro regenerates it off. No hazard pressure accentuating it. Yeah, so I mean, there's Excadrill trying to spin, but there's can't imagine this is. Oh, it's not even Lefty's Excadrill. It's probably Scarf. So, yep. This. Oh, it's counter. Yeah. Nice. Well, a defense drop and subsequent pursuit doing absolutely nothing. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. If it is going to be Celebi, it is going to be... Sorry, I skipped ahead by accident. It is going to be Nasty Plot. But, as my memories of Nasty Plot Celebi versus Rainstall in 2011 would suggest, Nasty Plot Celebi does not really beat Toxic Blissey, unfortunately. It comes close, but it can't do the job on its own. Now, Nasty Plot Celebi, over the course of a longer game, on a team that pressures stall teams, and yes, it's one of the best things you can ask for, with Natural Cure and Nasty Plot and, you know, big healing and strength and Giga Drain and all that stuff. But it can't pull this much of a comeback job. Not without, you know, the team being softened up first. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a U-turn. Oh, and even had its lefties knocked off by Clef. So, yeah, it's extremely toast. Very, yeah, I mean, this Salt team Solman's running, it's very Xatu dependent on hazard blocking. But, you know, then it also has Clef as a last ditch. So, it's something. Yeah, okay, so Celebi got Ice Beamed and now that was it. Okay, I'm just going to check to see if there's anything, because otherwise I really better be going to bed. Oh, there is another Gen 4 game. Okay. I hope this one rules. I'm sure it does. It is Void versus Piteous. I'm just going to check if there were any other DPP games. And I'm going to pop that music on. Actually, no, I use Aim to Head Official, by the way. They are excellent. They make really great stuff. If you are looking for the music in the background. Okay, so now we've got this other last Gen 4 game, and that will be that for this evening. Or whenever you are watching this. Oh, that's a sweet text. Okay. Breloom lead. Alright, I love seeing Breloom lead. Because whether it's Scarf or Sash or just... Honestly, I really like plain old Toxic or Breloom as lead, just because it's such a good fake out. Scarf and Sash are great, and then you can do cool stuff with just a regular Toxic or Breloom lead, and it has its good matchups. Yeah, Protect T-Char. Oh, my baby. Oh, I love that. I wonder if this means Piteous is using, you know, the ancient form of Stall that is my love, and I wanted to make a video on. I must. And that's a great move there, because whether it's... Well, he sees if it's Toxic Orb or not, and if it's not, you know, Scarf, Sash, whatever, he just gets free chip on the Breloom, so that's perfect use of Spore there. Now, again, if it was that, you know, odd sub-Toxic Orb Breloom on that first turn, that'd be scary. But as a Toxic Orb Breloom against T-Charlie, you don't necessarily want to sub. It can... I don't know, if you even run sub, because Toxic Orb Breloom does not necessarily mean sub. So there's a lot to consider there. Anyway, he goes right for the Spore, and he tries to stun Spore as I guess he thinks Skarm is going to run away from a Magneton or Magnezone. Maybe it's Shed Shell, who knows. Or maybe he just thought, hey, this Skarm doesn't want to eat a big Focus Punch while it sleeps for absolutely free, so in comes Latias or Rotom or Gliscor, and I'll stun Spore that. And there is the Focus Punch, and he does get it for free after he sustains another turn of Sand Chip. I mean, hey, this Breloom is... So, Piteous has burned 2 sleep turns. That's very, very productive. And the lack of lefties means it is indeed Shed Skarm. But that also means it's not healing off the Focus Punches. So now it's not the threat of a Magnet that's going to scare out the Skarm. It's going to be Focus Punch. Okay, there's the Latias as Empoleon comes in. So nice double by Void. I assume this will be a support rocking Empoleon, whether it's lefties or a more aggressive variant, because you wouldn't reveal agility this early in the game. And hey, I'm just happy to see any kind of Empoleon. So Fling Iron Ball. Yes, it is a Fling iron or light ball, not iron ball. Sorry, Fling light ball Empoleon spreading para. That's really cool. Love to see it. I like Knock Empoleon too, but hey, that's got a lot of unique application. You know what I really like about that? I like that it takes advantage of or it flips Empoleon's, issue against offensive teams. Great typing and bulk and all that, but it can be a little slow, and boom, now you have a para spreader. So that's really cool. I like seeing that a lot. Very creative, and it paralyzes the Latias. And now I assume it will get rocks as well. It's been paralyzed, but hey, fine. In comes, ooh, nasty full para there. I guess, M could have full parried on the previous turn, so. The Handsome Devil pops up those rocks, as he is so good at doing. And so does Empoleon. Now Skarm is at under half and still asleep. Now here comes the Breloom, and, well, T-Tar gets a very free protect here for the Sand Chip. Very nice. It used to be that some people wouldn't protect in situations like this. Oh, it's too obvious, but it's like... And then, more players would spam protect and say, hey, this is not a very punishable move. That's why I have a video called The Power of Protect. So, Seed Bomb threatened... Yeah, I wonder, does he stay in and eat the Seed Bomb just to prevent eating a big, nasty Focus Punch on a paralyzed Latias switching in? But no, he gets it nicely, and he recovers without para on the switch as Empoleon switches out. Now, Clef is coming in, I'm sure. Oh, T-Tar comes into the Empoleon again. I mean, hey, Spadef T-Tar is a beast, so not surprising. But, T-Tar protects on the Breloom and punishes it more rather than Clef. And there's the Clef. So, yeah, okay, so nice reveal there, even though it doesn't... a little bit of rocks damage, that could help something. And a little bit... And a reveal of Clef. Now, how he's going to answer the Clef, that's something else. But you know what he could just do? You know what? Hey, Empoleon's about to do that Roar Swampert thing we just talked about. It just, it's going to say, look, I'm not going to do much myself. Oh, wow, that did a lot. Okay, that's a bold Calm Mind Clefable. Okay, so it's that version of it. And clearly a pretty hard-hitting Empoleon. But yeah, it serves just hey, nice move by Void. That was really nice. Because you scout out the Clef EVs, that helps you formulate your plan against it. Excuse me. And that means, look, no T-Tar Pursuit is going to really sting it that hard because it's bold. But that means it's more vulnerable to special attacks. It's a good plan. And even if the Empoleon doesn't do much else, it's going to roar, it's going to scout. That's later on, though. It's still very healthy. And since it's a Calm Mind Clef with Flamethrower and whatever the other move is, Ice Beam, T-Bolt, Grass Knot, then... Grass Knot, I think, is fairly likely with Flamethrower, great coverage. Then it's not actually going to wear the Empoleon down, so it'll have its time. But for now, Void brings in his signature Machamp on a free switch with Soft Boiled. And, I mean, the center, getting to run Empoleon and Machamp and have Empoleon spread para for the Machamp is just beautiful. So the Machamp is lefty, so you're not going to be wearing it down with Sand. That's big. D-Punch... 1 down, 7 to go. I mean, you can provoke the Ice Punch or the Payback, but can you pivot around it? And now there's the Parafusion in action as Latias hits itself, and it can... Okay, I was going to say it can still take an Ice Punch, but it can't because it gets crit. And, I mean, if this is Reflect Rotom, he might be okay, but those are rare. So for now, he is going to withstand a Payback. I mean, that's hard hitting. And it is... Okay, it's Scarf Rotom. It's not even lefties. And he doesn't have spikes. So, I mean, okay, the Machamp took a hit from its own sub. So it's going to be easier to deal with, but still not, great. So the Scarf Rotom is going to take something with it, though. Which is not... And I'm wondering if Breloom was the right move. I mean, surely there's going to be a better T-Bolt switch there. I mean, maybe he wants to be extremely safe and not, bring in Latias or whatever. But I think, the Breloom is honestly actually really threatening. I mean, if he has Healing Wish, I guess. If not, then, okay, yeah, it's forgivable. But I don't know, I just like it when there's extra fodder. But he's very far ahead, so I get that he wants to really preserve it. So yeah, in comes Flygon. Okay, Flygon is a very cool choice there because it provides offense, and seeing as you've got a very defensive team. So I like that spin on this style of team that Piteous has given it. I mean, this is, mixed Flygon has been run on these kinds of teams before, but I like, on the Protect T-Tar style, which you don't really see mixed Flygon on, so that definitely caught me off guard. I'm sure it caught everyone else off guard as well. And I like it here because in these situations you have with these teams where generally you like getting out in front, you like getting your early spikes. Man, I think Scarm going to sleep. Scarm getting some spikes down really, really will help this out. It helps, you know, damage ranges for Mixgon, which is not known for its raw power. And, I mean, the way it would have helped against the fighters is big, obviously. But I get that he doesn't have great answers in this regard. But I don't know. I think it's something that had to be considered. But yeah, Flygon is great because when you fall behind because you haven't gotten out in front, I mean, that sounds very obvious, but bear with me. When you fall behind because you failed to, you know, execute that stranglehold play style early on in the game, then it's very hard to bring it back when most of your stuff is when most of your threat is coming from passivity. You want to get that out and choke the opponent out early. You know, you're not going to be mounting as much of a comeback with it, you know, unless Scarm really gets on, you know, finds his own. I mean, you know, gets on a roll, not literally finds a Magnezone. But, yeah, generally you have Pokemon like Offensive Jirachi for this kind of thing, or Mixed Flygon. And I really like the uniqueness of Mixed Flygon because it has much more of an Oko factor. Okay, it has U-Turn. I was not expecting that because I was expecting, okay, Scarf Rotom and Mixed Flygon. I mean, I'm not saying that it couldn't still be some sort of non-Scarf Flygon, but I was expecting something else. Okay, and we see a physical Jirachi, which makes sense because, you know, Para and Machamp. And Ironhead, Scarm has to wake up and flinches. Now it might drop to Fire Punch, and it does. So the Clef is bold, and it's gonna... Yeah, okay, that didn't quite work out. In comes Gara. Yeah, this is looking... I think Void just has too many pieces, and, like, Piteous can barely hang on. I mean, if this Clef is T-Bolt, then yeah, definitely. But he doesn't even need... It's not even about the Gara as much as provoking a Soft Boil and getting another free switch to Machamp, which does get a KO. There's a sub, so really committing to, hey, I'm sacking Gara. I mean, I assume he has something else that can take Flygon EQs. I mean, even Machamp can take a Flygon EQ at this range. Oh, there's a Grass Knot Gara, so now it DDs. Grass Knot Clef, because it doesn't even break the sub, so this might just be a... Yeah, I think this is it. Mandy Waterfalls and... Oh, the Grass Knot KO's the sub that time. Okay. It's still too much, though. Nice, he makes it right to the end. He preserves it. I assume he's just going to go for Stone Edge, T-Punch. Oh, he's going to U-turn. Yeah, okay, it's not enough. So it is Scarf Flygon, and I guess it might not have been Scarf Rotom. Well, it wasn't Colbur Berry, so I don't know what it was, but it was something. Yeah, so that's going to be it. All right, that was a very interesting one. All right, this video dragged on a little longer, or went on a little longer than I would have liked, but hey, worth it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.